Hi, everyone, and welcome to the FemForce podcast. My name is Rachel, and I am your host. And today I am so excited because I get to be joined by my photographer, Amanda. Now, that makes me bougie because I have my own photographer, and I love that for me, though.
I love this for you.
Thank you so much for coming on the pod to talk about your journey and your entrepreneurship and everything that you've been up to.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell the audience just a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got into photography.
So I have been shooting for 5 years now. And the first time I picked up a camera was because of my husband. He's been doing video for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started going to shoots with him when we started dating. And I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And he had an extra camera. So I just started playing around with it. And eventually I was like, wow, I'm kind of good at this. And then somebody asked me to, shoot their engagement photos, and it just started from there. And eventually I had to get my own camera, and now look at us.
So, I mean, you're doing a ton of work here in Cleveland and like with a lot of different brands and especially women-owned brands, which I think is so important to highlight because Cleveland's in the middle of a renaissance, everyone. If you haven't been, we're voted one of the top travel destinations by CN Travelers. So just throwing
Very
that out
underrated.
there. We're having a renaissance.
Yeah.
We had a lot of things going on here in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
So when you were starting this business, were you thinking of this is how it was going to go into like less what most people think of typical photographers of weddings or engagements or those kind of things, and more towards doing brand shoots and like helping brands really grow and solidify themselves? So Cleveland's in the middle of a renaissance, and like we're doing all of these amazing things. It's, it's on the map. What made you decide to go into more brand shoots for small businesses and especially women-owned, comparative to a lot of photographers who stick in the wedding industry and stick with like engagement? So, more people in direct instead of consumer.
Yeah. So actually, I really do everything. I don't do newborn shoots where you like wrap the baby up in a basket, it's not my thing.
No, not your thing.
But I really do a mix of everything, which is actually like, if you've known me for a while, I've done so many different careers and I've done so many different things in my life. Like you would be shook. So like I need variety in my life. And so I really like being able to do all the different types of photography that I do. But consistent work obviously is the key to keeping your
sanity,
bills paid and
all the things.
Right. And I've gotten really lucky with some businesses or just even individuals and brands and stuff like you, where I get, to consistently work with these amazing people. And I'm also like perfecting my craft and getting to do like kind of similar things over and over, which obviously helps you get better. So I love that. But I would say I really do a lot of different things, but I would say the brand shoots or like lifestyle content is one of my top favorite.
I mean, you're so good at it though. I think that's one of the things that like I enjoy the most about shooting with you is like, how to move and how to explain to someone how to move and what looks good. And I think that's a lot of times people behind the camera, that's a little more difficult for them to vocalize.
Yeah.
It's that just because you're natural when it comes to it.
I'm not a natural. I wish I was. I always liked modeling. I started doing promo modeling for brand ambassadors, where you would go to like Harley Davidson and wear a certain thing and pose with people. Like that really helped me get out of my comfort zone and get more comfortable with my body. And I learned a lot about like being in front of the camera. And then I just always tried to do that because I was always like self-conscious and, I know how hard it is like when you are in front of the camera. So I think learning how to be in front of the camera is huge. And I couldn't stand working with photographers that didn't give any direction. It's like super uncomfortable.
They're like, move. And you're like what? Like in the wind? Like, I don't know what that means.
Right. No, I feel like it creates a different experience for people, like a much better experience having somebody to direct them and make them feel good, I guess. And I mean, that's my main goal. It's like, I want you to feel really good about the pictures, and I want you to have fun at the shoot and feel confident that you weren't just like not doing enough or not,
No, and I mean, you do a lot more than just the photography, though. Like you're helping a lot of these companies with their social campaigns and things like that. So it's really developed into like a larger scale job in a way.
You cannot escape social media. So you just have to.
You can't. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And it's so, like the creativity behind it and everything else that you're doing with it. Like I watch you with Unrefined and the work that you're doing with that. I mean, it's food. It's great food. I eat it. I order it. I'm a member. But
if you haven't tried Unrefined,
shout out there, guys. But it is phenomenal. And the product speaks for itself. But like to do the social media behind food, that's not exactly easy. It's not a person. It's not words.
So I have a background in health and wellness. I was a personal trainer for like 9 years.
Okay.
So I am very passionate about health and wellness. Yeah. And so when I started shooting with Unrefined, it really helped me understand, or I already had an understanding of kind of what they wanted their messaging to be and like, what do you want to show?
Yeah.
So like that has helped because it's challenging.
Well, and you get to work with your husband a lot too when doing this.
Yeah.
So how much fun is that?
Yeah. That's the best part. And he's
doing all the videography and stuff.
Yeah. Anytime that I can bring him in to shoot video, he's the first person I got to call,
And when you guys work together, is it like because you're married and, you live together, you've got synergy as it is already. Does that make it easier when you're doing those kind of brand things?
Yeah. So it's funny because so many people say they could never work with their significant other, which I totally get. But yeah, I mean, he taught me a lot about what I know. And so that is, always nice. Like I always know that I can count on him to, answer any questions that I might have. But I think we just always want each other to we just want to bring out the best in each other. And so I think just like working together, we just want the best picture and the best video and the best, we want to have a good time. And we just genuinely want the best. So we're always just just helping each other throughout the shoot.
I love that though, because that also just reflects so much of your personal relationship together. And that's amazing. So when you started off, you were in the health and wellness sector, you were doing all this. Did you have this, how did you overcome the fear of starting, because it's a very different realm from going from health and wellness into creative arts and especially photography. How did you get over the hump of being I can do this, I can make this happen?
Yeah.
So getting over the hump from going from health and wellness, and then you're going into a completely different new sector. Yeah. What gave you the confidence to be wait, I can do this. This is something that I'm just going to parallel and do.
So honestly, it wasn't even a choice. It was just
chose you.
Yeah. I was this was it. Personal training I was putting all my energy into it, and I had such a passion for it because it really helped my life.
Yeah.
But trying to help people that don't want to necessarily, they think they want to help themselves, but they're not really willing to do that. It was just very draining, and I needed something else. And honestly, I think I realized how much shooting with people also helped them in a different way.
Yeah.
And helped them, feel good. So I really liked that aspect of it, and I just kept rolling with it. And I did not feel confident in it really, I would say, until the last year or two, not even. And it was all just trial and error and just getting over those fears and just doing it anyways, and just constantly trying to teach myself new things, and just, just saying yes and doing the things is really what has helped me build that confidence.
That's amazing. And when you started from the beginning, I mean, you're starting a business. So what kind of things, I mean, you have to buy the camera. You said you had to get your own camera. And I'm sure there is so much more that kind of goes into it, doing something like this. Can you explain a little about that?
I'm so lucky because of Keith. I a lot of the software and stuff he already had. So that really worked in my advantage. But there is so much on the back end, like hard drives and memory cards and like I said, the editing software, lenses, and then like he has a ton of lighting equipment that we use.
Yeah.
But I mean, even just lighting equipment, a flash, like it's just the list is never ending. Extension cords for the equipment, like it just
I mean, I can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like doing a podcast where I'm like, oh yeah, you need to buy all of these things to do
Yes.
that, and
Yeah.
that's going to be a thing, which we get. So when you're in the middle of doing this, you're starting out, like you've got some tips and tricks from your husband, which we love. Where did you really figure out like how to market yourself and like how to price yourself in this kind of like area? Like Cleveland's a little different. Obviously, we're not like in New York or California, but like the businesses are thriving here and they're really growing. So how did you figure that out for yourself?
Yeah. So I started obviously really low. Like, my first shoot was $50,
Yeah.
I think, for my friend. And as time went on, as I had to buy the equipment and stuff like that, I had to, start charging a little bit more. And that was something I did in my personal training business too. Like you had to keep increasing your prices eventually, or else what are you doing? So it was a big challenge though. It is really hard, especially like just imposter syndrome, like you said about transitioning into the field. It was really hard. I came from no background, no creative background really. And I think the big thing is just like knowing your worth and like your time is valuable. And then, like you had mentioned, just like posing people and
Yeah.
directing. And, when you're taking the time to pick out locations and you're taking the time to edit and then obviously taking the time to shoot, travel, communicating with the people. And you really start thinking about the value and the time that you're putting in. It helped me really get like a little bit, increase my price a little bit by little bit.
No, but I love that. But you also have to have goals for yourself. And I think
100%.
the imposter syndrome runs deep. We can be as professional as we want. We can accomplish everything. That imposter syndrome just runs deep. It's down there. And I mean, you're working with these local businesses and like you're working with creatives and you have all these kind of clients. How are you building this community that you have? Because people are like continually using you. I mean, the work speaks for itself, but
I don't know. I love working with people. I feel really good about my communication skills. I know I've tried to work with a lot of different people in the past and the communication isn't really there.
no, it can be hard when you're like trying to get a hold of somebody and like the creative sides of things. And you're like, hi, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me.
Right. So I feel like that's been a huge thing. It's just communicating with people and being on time. I know people just really appreciate that. I feel obviously good about my work. I'm confident in what I do. I'm not anywhere near the best, but I think like the relationships that you build with people and the way that you communicate is like honestly like the number one thing.
Do you have like a dream client or like a dream project you would like to shoot and work on?
Honestly, I would love to see like a fashion like a billboard, like a fashion billboard. Like to see my work on a billboard would be insane.
I mean, that can happen.
That's like really the big.
We have billboards here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
We're not that out in the sticks. We could totally do that.
Right.
No, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Just drive past it and sit there and be like, that's mine.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
That would be really cool. We're going to get that going. Unrefined. We're going to put some food out there.
Yeah.
We're going to do a lot of things out there. So how have you really learned how to like utilize social media and all of this? Because I mean, you do it for your job. You also, you do the videos for your clients for their social media, but you also have to market yourself in a way. So like you said from the beginning, like you can't get away from social media. It's not something we're not going to be able to get rid of anytime soon. And I appreciate it for my, day-to-day paycheck here, but you're using all of these different platforms and like clients are doing all these different platforms. How do you help them with that?
Yeah, it's a challenge every day, honestly. Like as soon as you think there's the right way to do something, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like you think you're supposed to post here, post this then, or
You have all of the
right. But I think at the end of the day, if you're putting out like quality content, you know that you're, not putting out blurry things, and you're getting, people messaging you, and just any positive feedback that you get from people, at least you're doing something.
No, I mean, and you're capturing such beautiful images and such like moments for people too, that I think that's so special. It's when it comes to social media, for me at least, it's staying on top of the trends.
Yeah.
Like I am not like where I'm like, oh, I'm like 5 weeks late to this trend.
Yeah.
Or 2 years. Who knows? I'm very late to all the trends, like the sounds, whatever's in right now for what they're doing, that this made me funny thing right now. I will do that in 5 weeks. And then I'll be like, oh, that was fun. That was not what I was supposed to be doing, but that's okay. And it's hard.
Yeah.
So like you're doing this, you're starting, small, you started with a photography business. And what if someone wants to do this also? What if they're inspired by this and just, want to take these beautiful images that you take and help businesses? Where do they start off?
Just start doing it. Like it doesn't matter what type of equipment that you have, even if you're just like using your phone, but figure out how to use it the right way. Like start playing around with edits and lighting, and then also just building relationships with people. It's the only way that you're going to get anywhere is if you're, building those connections, and then they're going to refer people to you. And then just the communication. I would say also you just can't be afraid to like try the new things. You just have to try the new things.
And do you feel like your clients are really trusting with that? They're like, well, she knows.
Yeah. I'm really lucky. I have very like laid back clients. They know what they want, but they trust me, with what I'm doing.
Do you do that a lot with the brides too?
With
brides? I don't feel like brides are that laid back.
It just depends on again, I've been very lucky throughout my, there's always a couple people like that you work with but honestly, it's been 5 years and I can only really name a few.
I mean, I love that.
Yes.
I mean, and you're working for yourself, and I know that you work so hard and you're working all the time. Like you do the sessions and then you're editing them, and then the process is a whole thing. How do you balance that with you get to work with your husband, but so you do get like a little like time there, but that's still work at the end of the day. So how do you balance that?
We're working on being better at balancing it. We are both very guilty of just working until we shut the laptop and go to sleep. Like we'll just be on the couch working. But we just love what we do. So it's like easy to just get stuck doing it. But I take a lot of time to like schedule things away from home because I tend to work on stuff when I'm at home. So definitely like scheduling coffee dates with friends or, lunch dates. And then we always make sure to go out, Keith and I, and take time away, which is nice. But I will say it's hard to find the balance. It is.
Do you feel like, you like to work though. So it's because you like what you're doing. So I think that's also like, it's part of the problem, if you will, but not really.
No.
You like what you're doing.
Exactly. I love it.
And I think that's so, just to have something that you love that much, did you ever think you were going to get to this point? To be like, wow, I've really found something that like I'm passionate about and I love?
No. I really didn't think that anything like this was possible. I came from like a super blue collar family.
Yeah.
You just work really hard and do what you're supposed to do. And I always did, but I would like jump from career. I'm like, okay, this career isn't serving me anymore. Like move on.
Yeah.
And I would do that like job after job. And the health and wellness thing, stuck around for a while because that really like helped me feel fulfilled. And then of course it was, it didn't serve me anymore, but that's the thing. You can't be afraid to like try the next thing or else you're going to get stuck somewhere where you're not happy.
No. And that's the worst feeling in the world.
And now I get to literally work 24/7, but do what I love.
You're like, it's a balancing out for this portion too, where you're like, we can have all these things, but also like that. Like when you look back and you were doing the health and fitness and now you're doing this and you're amazed at the place that you're at now, did you ever think you would be actually working with your husband in the capacity that you are?
he, we should just make this whole episode about him because he's the best. He helped me so much in my personal training career too.
Oh, wow.
When we started dating, because he was doing the videos, I didn't have that type of, like, I was doing, my little phone pictures and I was trying to record stuff, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had a Droid at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he corrected that quickly.
Yeah, green text bubble.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
That's, we don't even, I
We're
should,
just don't bring
can
that
we
up.
bleep that out?
Yeah. We won't pay that attention to that.
So he started helping me like record stuff and really push out like my personal training content. So I was already kind of working with him so much. And that's, I think, helped us, as a couple. And then obviously it really helped me kind of learn what I needed to do for myself.
Because he also DJs. So you also
Now,
get so now like you also have like that creative and like art filled moment too. Do you feel like you need to find your DJing kind of thing to give you that outlet?
So we go to like festivals and I get to obviously go to his shows if, when he's doing it. And just like getting out and like dancing and listening to music is like such an outlet for me that I didn't really have before. So
I love that.
Yeah.
But it's giving you like that clarity and you guys get time together and just like,
Oh yeah.
'cause I feel you're so creative all the time.
I was gonna say that's really the only time that I like fully, I think, just like disconnect and like the only time.
I mean, and that's saying something.
Just be.
Yeah. Because you're working all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's a good thing. Do you see this growing into you having employees or mentoring other photographers or just taking on bigger projects or bigger clients and things like that? Like, where's your dreams headed?
So I think ideally I would just like to have maybe like bigger projects or I love like working with a team. I honestly really love like creative directing, even if I can't shoot the shoot, which is so something that I've done, quite a bit where I'm like coordinating with the location, coordinating with all the people, hiring the models on, and then, directing either the video and photo team or whatever it may be. So doing that on like a big scale project would be probably like the big goal. And like, I could see myself doing that like on a regular basis, but as far, I don't think I could, I don't know if I'll have employees or not.
I'd be your employee. I feel like you'd be a good boss.
I will. I love like teaching people and helping people.
Well, you're good at the communication of it all. Like we were saying in the beginning, like you can explain how to pose, how to move your body, what's going to look really good in these kind of angles. And I mean, I think that's so special.
Yeah.
So I could see you trying to teach somebody.
Yeah.
Get a camera in their hand and be like, you can do this.
You got this.
Yeah. Be all positive about it. We love that vibe. So besides this as a passion and like where you're going to go from here with this, I think the sky's the limit. I think a billboard's totally going to happen. We're going to manifest all of those kind of things. Do you have any kind of big dreams for like you're doing the creative directing, you're doing like beyond that? Like, would you want to do this globally? Do you want to travel at all and try to do this and like bring your talent outside?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I have done, out of state shoots, which is amazing. Again, never thought that I was traveling to Manhattan to an office, to do a shoot, like things that I just didn't think were possible. But yeah, definitely out of the country, like is the goal, would love to travel out of the country to shoot. Like that's a dream,
It is. That's the dream, right? It's
yeah.
a literal dream to get paid to travel. Like that's the best thing you could have. That's what I do. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. That's all I ever wanted to be able to do. So when you're trying to do all of this and you're in the middle of shooting things, and where do you get your unique style from? Does that just come from like your preferences when you're shooting, or do you have?
I do edit per client.
Okay.
I do. Like depending on the vibe, depending on their skin tone and their hair and what they're wearing and the location, like I want that's one thing like I've never been able to do was stick to one style of edit. I think it's really cool how photographers do that. I think it's awesome, but it's just not something I can do. But I think that's helped me a lot because I'm so like versatile with different projects. I feel like I can get really artsy, but typically I keep it like more natural and
Yeah.
like figure out what colors work like with the shoot.
That's so impressive though, because you have to be more versatile then, I guess, because you're not just like sticking with one type of
Right.
style that you would do or
Yeah.
type of editing that you would do.
Yeah.
So did you taught yourself this too? How to
Editing.
edit? Yeah. So you're self-taught on how to do that.
Yeah.
Is that not the most like that? It sounds daunting even to talk about it.
It is. It's the one thing it's probably the hardest thing of all of it because the lighting and the people and like I said, all the different factors that go into it, you never know until you sit there and you play around with it, what's going to look good or what's going to work. But honestly, when I started, and this is what I tell people to this day is if you just pick, there's like presets that people can buy or it's already made.
Lightroom presets or
yeah.
anything. Yep.
Yeah. Shoot, even this day, like I'll still every once in a while pick one and then see if I like something about it and then go from there. But that's what like pick a preset, see if something works, and then just mess with all the different settings. And that's how I learned what the different settings are and what they do and go from there. But it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's
and
a
like
lot.
there's 14,000 different apps and they're all, either getting taken away or being put back on. So like you have to try to keep up. Like it's the same with the trends. You have to keep up with the software. And I think that's so impressive that like you're self-taught to be able to do that because some people just would kill to learn how to edit a photo.
Yeah.
And like you took the initiative to be able to do that. Have you always been like that? Just be like, I'm going to take the initiative and.
That's a good question. No, I feel like I was more like, tell me what to do and I'll get it done.
Right. Well, you said you came from that kind of, like
Right.
put your head down and work and you got to.
Right. Like someone give me a list, like you have to do this, do it this way. I could do it.
Yeah.
But I guess that was like a challenge with doing my own business, just in general.
Which, it makes sense though, because you just have to take that all on. So it's not getting done.
Exactly.
And is your family super impressed? Are they like, wow, like this is different than what we thought we were going to be doing?
They are just really coming around. And mind you, before I was doing the photos, my personal training, I was also self-employed.
Yeah.
And they're getting used to it. And they are impressed. They're, excited about it. But like I said, they're very still that same way.
No, it's hard. Even when I'm doing this, my parents are like, but you're not quit. I'm like, no, I have not quit my day job. Like I have a 9 to 5. I'm like, this is my like fun passion project. I'm like, but maybe it could turn into something. And they're like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know yet. Figure that part out. I'm like, when that happens, yeah, when it happens, it'll happen. And like, that's how it's going to go. But it's also, I think, hard to explain to that generation who's very, you go to work, you make your money, you retire, you take care of your family, and like, you take one vacation a year and do your thing. And I think we're living life a little bit differently.
I think that one of the biggest things is I can tell how much better my mental health is and just like how genuinely happy I am. And I think that, kind of help them
understand like what you're doing. Cause I love when I meet parents of people. It's like shout out to Rebecca Maxwell for She Company. And I met her parents at one of her events. And I was like, you guys have got to be so proud of her. Like, look at this. This is like really, really incredible. And I'm like, and I'm coming from like New York City and San Francisco, and they don't have things like this here. And like, this is wonderful. And they're like, no, we just didn't even know this was possible, that she could have done this, like from social media, starting off like that. And I'm like, yeah, it only takes an idea.
Yeah.
But like to see it in person, to see them, like, I think that's what, like, I was really cute to like watch them like come to an event and like see it all happen in person.
Yeah.
And so I think until they can like realize that, that's got to be like mind blowing for them to be like, she's like a businesswoman.
Yeah. I know. I always think about that. I'm like, I wish my family could kind of like come to a shoot or something. Like my younger brother helped Keith and I on like a big video shoot one time. Actually, it was a podcast.
Oh, see?
Yeah. Right. So we had to like set up all the lighting and set up the cameras and just do all of that. And so for him to see that, I think he really got a better idea of what we do and like a respect for it
I love that. Well, you should be a lot of respect. It's a lot of work. You're doing it all. Like, and
I
you're
mean,
in
it's pretty
charge.
fun, but it's not all fun and games. No.
I mean, it's running a business.
Yeah.
So like you still have to do like the backlog and the invoicing and all the thing, like all the work that no one actually wants to do. Like that's not the fun creative part, is doing that. And so I can only imagine, like, especially when you're doing two of those, like both of you are entrepreneurs doing that in one household. So you guys are just like working for that.
It's a lot of risk, but it's a lot of reward. So
I love that.
worth it.
So as we wrap up, I like to ask one question that I ask all of my guests. But if you could give one piece of advice to your 16-year-old self, what would that be?
Just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait and see. I don't even know if I would give her any advice. Everything, everything happens for a reason, and just keep going.
Okay. Yeah, but that's good for nowadays too.
Yeah.
That's good advice for nowadays. Just
You're
wait.
right. You're right.
Like just keep it going. Like
Yeah.
I feel like every time I ask that question, I'm like, every advice that everybody's giving, I'm like, but we could use that now too. Like that's not yeah, it carries on, guys. It's not just 16-year-olds. We're also like, yeah, but we can use that too. But yeah, just wait. I mean, everything happens for a reason, and everything, it's all going to be amazing.
Yeah. Just keep on going.
I love to keep swimming.
Just keep
Swimming. Exactly. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. And everyone, make sure to go and check out Amanda. Plug yourself where they can find you on Instagram and all the socials.
Thank you. Amanda the Shooter on my socials.
Go and find her. They're phenomenal and she's great. So if you're in the Cleveland area, you want to bring her out, definitely hit her up. I can't recommend it more. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.